So, Robert Greene, also known as Wise, was wrongfully convicted. The sentence didn't match the crime. So, to be wrongly convicted, you can either be charged with something that you did not actually do. But I'm saying, as I'm sure some other people must be saying, to be wrongfully convicted is also to do something and the consequences don't match what you did. That's what, and that's a wrongful conviction. So Robert Greene was wrongfully convicted in a horrendous way. And I know a little bit about what it feels like to be wrongly convicted, to be mischaracterized, misunderstood, to have things said about you that are not accurate, to have depictions of you that are not accurate. And I've played defense for the ministry and for myself long enough. And it's time to play offense, to step up my game, my personal game, what we do for the ministry, to be in the top of the offense players like Indianapolis Colts and Dallas and other top teams with great offensive lines. I know what it feels like when someone, a good person, uses the power of the tongue, right? Life and death are in the power of the tongue, former spouse, to deride, mischaracterize one's character. Because all we have is really, my father taught me, is your health and a good name. And when someone tries to mess with your good name, they're going after what you stand for. To be accused of doing all sorts of things with other people that you never even thought of, to have your work in ministry twisted to be something other than what it is. I think I'm gonna play offense now. Played defense too long, and so that the burden that comes with being wrongfully convicted, and then to hear those wrongful convictions 3 years later from someone else in the community who repeated the kinds of things that were hurled at you word for word, to be asked for divorce, but to have social media postings that made it look like you abandoned somebody, to be asked to leave but have social media postings that look like you gave up. It's time to play offense, and not just for myself, but for all the men and women behind bars. Because when you're wrongfully convicted, right? In my case, my former spouse is the only person I've ever been with. To this day, 6 years after separation and divorce, because that's how I live my life. I believe, and this is another video, that without commitment, there is no love. So I don't believe in extramarital affairs or premarital, pre-engagement lovemaking. Because there is no love without a commitment, without a date, without a community of support, recognizing an outward expression of an inward change between two people, right? I'm playing offense, right? No more defense. So I'm taking back my name and everything the enemy tried to destroy. So wrongfully convicted people often lose their reputations, they lose their family ties, they lose their health and mental health, they lose property, they lose the future they were planning, and their trust in God and humanity. And the only way that doesn't occur, when we wrongfully convict people and sentence them, is when their faith is strong enough, their resilience is strong enough, and they go and they have people, chaplains in the prisons and jails, fighting for them, reminding them of who they are. So people can be wrongfully convicted who are not guilty of anything they were charged with, and people can be wrongly convicted when the charges don't match the crime. Robert's charges don't match his crime. It doesn't feel good to be wrongfully convicted, and playing defense is not going to get people free. Playing defense is not going to restore people into the community. Playing defense is not what we need now in this season. So, my practice in this ministry and in how I use my tongue, because we're talking about good people. I was the lifetime partner of a good man. What we're talking about is good people. I want good people to stop repeating stories about people that you did not witness. Stop believing everything you read and hear. If we are not, my practice is not even to repeat something unflattering about somebody if I did not witness it, or if I am not involved in protecting one of the actors in it, or supporting them, or correcting them, or encouraging, whatever the case may be. I hold it or forget it completely. That's what my daddy taught me. Years ago, my dad said, if you didn't see it, you don't know what happened. So, Robert Greene and all of the men and women, which is the vast majority of the men and women in prison and jail right now, have been wrongfully convicted one way or another. On November 16th, we have a leader in our community who was also wrongfully convicted, who's going to bring people together to talk about domestic violence and what it feels like to be a man wrongly convicted, and to create opportunities for men and women to share their stories and gain better understanding of each other. And I will share that. So, no more offense, no more defense. Getting the offense line ready, because we got some people in our jails and prison whose names have been damaged. And that doesn't work for me.